Looks like we're working to me. Alright, alright. Man. So what are we up to today? Well, my brain is a whole load of fuck. And as much as I would love to play a game of like Fantasy Quest or something like that, I don't really have the energy to, and I am being super mega overwhelmed with my stupid brain, so I figured I would, instead of starting something new, I would try to refurbish something that I was unhappy with. It seems like a logical plan to me. So, I had made these previously. They're little forest pieces. Hello. And they're meant to go with my Dead Man's Hand town and scenery and stuff. And I love my Dead Man's Hand town. It's fantastic. I'm really looking forward to getting to build my other building for that. And I like these little tree pieces. They're cool. I like how they came out. I like the idea of them. But one, I want to make some more of them, so we're gonna do that today. And two, I want to refurbish these ones. Largely because I don't like how a lot of the foam kind of stuck on there. I like the spottiness of it. I think that looks neat. Because my Dead Man's Hand board is intended to be like, you know, it's not meant to be like New Mexico or that kind of stuff, or like, you know, where a lot of people would, Texas, you know, where people would think just like cowboy stuff. My stuff's supposed to be like Colorado, right? Like, I kind of like getting up into the scrublands kind of thing. So I like the spottiness of the trees. I think that's really neat. However, when I sprayed these at the very end, I did it with a aerosol like Elmer's glue, and it left this really weird discoloration that I'm not a fan of on a lot of these. Really not a fan of that. So what I want to try to do today is I'm going to try to refurbish some of these by recoating them and then reflocking them. And we'll see if that fixes it. And then we'll make some new ones from scratch too. But I wanted to try to recoat some first, so we kind of knew how many I needed, right? Because I'm not really above ripping all the flocking off of these and basically starting them over. But if I can get away with, you know, an easier option, I'm gonna take that, I think. So, all right. So first off, what do we got? We got some PVA glue, generic Elmer's, right? Polyvinyl acetate, any kind of like this kind of glue. For the longest time when I used to watch those like scratch trash bashing kind of videos, and they'd always say PVA glue, I'd always get confused, right? Because I just didn't know what it was, but that's what it is. And this was a tiny little container that a melon ice cream came in from Don Quixote, and it holds my water now. So I have a source of clean water. There we go. Alright. So just a little bit of water from the melon and a little bit of PVA. And we're just going to mix it up. It's going to make a little bit runnier PVA essentially. We're looking for kind of a milk adjacent, like thick milk, I guess, consistency. That's what we're going to look for. So, and then what we're going to do, we're going to come over here and we're going to splotch that all on. Bloop, 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 bloop. And you'll see it's going to sink in a whole bunch. That's kind of what we want. So we're going to do this to a couple of these pieces. And then we're going to flock it, and we're going to see how it looks afterwards. There's got a piece of hair in it. Thank you. Gift from my dog, I'm sure. Having hair all in your miniatures is just that is the life of a Shiba Inu owner. go. This one, it's kind of falling off. We'll just pull it off real quick. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, see, we'll just do this bottom one, and then we'll reflock this bottom one and see how it looks. You know, I'm hoping it's gonna look pretty good. Fingers crossed, right? I actually don't know if I flocked these originally. This might actually just be pure clump foliage. I really don't remember, so we shall see. We shall see. We shall see. We shall see. All right, now for flocking. It goes in the box. The boxy box. And we break out our turf. And we sprinkle it on. This is the only turf I have. I don't have another color of turf. Otherwise, I would actually debate maybe doing these doing the reflocking in different colors, give it kind of like a two-tone thing. But this is what I got. So, all right, there we go. We flock that all up, and then we tap it off. And any stuff that didn't immediately get grabbed, it's going to fall off. And there we go. Now we're going to give that a little bit to dry, and I want to see how it dries. And while that's drying, we'll get up to some other stuff. We'll start making some new ones. Oops, shit. So yeah, so these three down here are the ones that we just flocked. So we'll see how they end up shaping up. I'll go put this over here. Okay, so how do we make these to begin with? Bonk. And bonk. Okay. So, a couple different things. Let me grab my scissors and we'll cut some shapes out. This is hardboard. It is it's the kind of compressed cardboard that you get at the back of a legal pad. Some notebooks have this as their cover and their back. You can get it off Amazon in sheets like this. You'll get like a billion of them for like $10. So instead of trying to scrounge it up, I would highly recommend you just buy this, because you'll get a uniform size. This one's a little beat up. You can see the corners busted and stuff, but that's why we're going to cut it up. But it's nice. Because it is cardboard, it will warp. So before we paint it or anything, we are going to have to seal the entire thing in Mod Podge. And hopefully we will get to that step today. So, all right, so first off, I'm just going to arbitrarily cut some shapes out. All right, the other ones I made here are pretty small. I'd like to make kind of like a bigger one. Maybe one that's like twice that size kind of thing. You know, maybe something like kind of like a bigger chunk, I think is kind of cool. And we can trim this corner off again. When you are making terrain out of cardboard and chipboard, be aware the weakest point of them is corners. You think triangles would be a strong shape, right? But the corner is actually the weakest point. So when it's going to bend and warp and stuff like that, it is going to do that in the corners first. So all right, so we got that one. Let's go ahead and make kind of another small one. We'll make it bigger than the other ones that we already have, but still make it smaller. Okay, so we got those two, and then this will just go in the trash. And then we'll go ahead and we'll make up, yeah, we'll make up 4 of them. And we'll make this 2 medium-sized ones. We'll make up 4 of them, because then I kind of have like a full like forest set, I guess. I can put some rocks and stuff in with it, and it'll be kind of cool. Alright, so you can kind of see I'm trying to give them a little bit of like, not just an oval shape, because all the other ones are just kind of an oval. That's kind of lame. So I kind of wanted to have them be a little bit more shapely, I guess. Made a lima bean. Alright. Oh, fuck. I've been, like, chain painting Skaven, because painting Skaven is one of my favorite things to do. It helps me relax a lot. I've been feeling pretty rough this weekend, so this whole box over here is filled with Skaven I painted this weekend. So I finally painted all of my Storm Vermin. So they're pretty fun. And the new Warlock Engineer. He's a really cool mini. Some of the gun teams. And a whole bunch of these suckers. Little clan rat boys. As well. So that's pretty fun. So yeah, so that's my trying to stay sane this weekend. Box of rats. That's what that is. Alright, here we go. Bing, 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 bing. We got all of our dudes here. We got some bases. Okay, we're gonna start with one of these lima beans right here. Now, something I didn't do last time was add any height depth to these, which will make them actually look cooler. So it's something we're gonna do this time. So this is I'm gonna say 1mm craft foam, but that doesn't feel right. This looks like 2mm to me, but it's just craft foam. What we're gonna do is we're gonna cut pieces of this off, because then when we do the texture paste, we can use this and it will actually create a slight bit of elevation and look pretty darn cool. So we'll use this because it'll be pretty sweet, and it'll allow us to have some nice variation in our pieces. I just started doing this actually, so it's kind of a new thing, right? And now when we texture paste this whole sucker, we'll have kind of like a little graduation kind of hill sort of thing going on there, which will be pretty dope. Okay, so first off, we got to get that to stick down. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to use some of our PVA, because PVA works really good for craft foam and it works extremely well for anything porous like cardboard. So there we go. Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. Should have found something heavy beforehand to put on top of it. Let me see what I got around. You'll do it for now. Alright, so I'm going to set that off to the side for a minute while it dries. And we're going to do the rest of them, because I think that's kind of a cool little feature. Adding a little bit of height to them I think is kind of neat. Alright, you can do this kind of in any shape you want. Alright, so this one's going to have one there, and then maybe we'll do something like have 2 on that one, that kind of thing. So I guess let's cut them all out first, and then we'll glue them all down. Alright, so This craft foam, by the way, sucks to work with. It just feels gross. I don't mean to be like, man, it is a gross texture, but it really, really is. Like, it's simple to work with, but it is, ooh, to touch. Big, big, big time gross to touch. It is super cheap though. Like I think I got like a pack of like 40 billion different colors of this from Walmart for like $5. So, all right, let's make one more. Bonk, 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 bonk. Bonk, 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 bonk. There we go. Throw that up there. This stuff will go in the trash. Alright, and we'll take this guy. He'll go over on this one. We'll put this guy right there, and then this guy will go right there. Like that. And they'll have some nice variation when we get to the texture. So you could also just do this with texture paint, but honestly, or texture paste, but honestly I don't want to use that much texture paste if I can avoid it. So this stuff is kind of like it's kind of like a filler almost, if I'm honest. There we go. Alright. And we'll squish them all down at the end and let them dry for a little bit while we return. We're going to talk about some trees. We'll see how our tree that we reflocked is looking. I have a feeling it's probably looking pretty good, just at a quick glance off the corner of my eye, compared to the other ones that got weird with the stuff, with the aerosol Elmer's glue. Yeah, the aerosol Elmer's glue said it was supposed to dry clear. Yeah, it does not. And dried with a slight white sheen. And I top coated it, and then it never really. It was always still fucking sticky. Anyway, it took a long time for it to not be sticky. So then we'll glue down this lima bean too. There we go. So it'll be cool to be able to have like a forced battle in Dead Man's Hand, you know? And Dead Man's Hand is dope. That was a really, really good game, so. Boop. There we go. Alright, that's everybody. And we will just let those sit for a little bit. And we can try to squish them all down. Let's see. These might glue to each other, which I'm a little worried about with these top two. Alright, just going to move those over to here, and then we will put a little bit of weight on them. And we'll check them again in like 5 minutes. Alright. How's our tree looking? I think that's an improvement, to be honest. But it's really hard to tell while it's still kind of wet, so. You can see like the frosting over on these ones. That's what I want to get rid of. So. Alright, we'll let that sit. Okay, so let's talk about trees. There's all kinds of different ways to do trees. I really like the woodland scenic trees. Because they give you a cute little armature, which is pretty darn cool. You can kind of bend it around however you want, and it's really fun. And I've got a couple different sizes of these because one of my local hobby shops actually sells them, which is pretty cool. There's like a model railroad kind of shop over in IAEA called Hobby Company, and they sell these, which is really cool. So They're really neat. And what you do with these, is first off, you cut the weird little base thingy off of them. And these trees do have mold lines, so we'll have to clean those up. But what you do is you bend them kind of in the directions that you want to make it kind of uniquely tree-like. So I kind of just go back and forth bending them, and they produce these really pretty cool kind of wild armatures. Now if you wanted, you could like super flock these up, yeah, and you can get really, and like make them like one big clump if you wanted, so they looked kind of less spotty, I guess. But like I said, I like the spotty nature. I think that's kind of the look, that like scrubland look is kind of what I'm going for, so I'm kind of a fan of that, to be honest. So but yeah, just go around, you bend it all around, and yeah, you end up getting a cool little tree kind of armature like that. And everyone complains about Woodland Scenics being expensive, and that's fair. But they're actually not that bad. These trees are actually pretty cheap. I think each one of these was like maybe like 50 cents or $1. Each one of these big ones, right? And these ones are like, I don't know, 10, 15 cents a pop. Same thing with these. So yeah, I think this is a realistic tree kit that came with a bunch of clump foliage. I think it was like 12 or 13 bucks. So a price on it. No, that's what I say. But yeah, it was pretty cheap. So the trees themselves are pretty cheap because of that, and they save me a lot of time, right? Like I don't want to have to build these like out of you know, like I've seen people build them out of wire, and then I've seen people build them out of like twine and all this crazy shit, right? I don't want to do that. That sounds like a pain in the tail, you know? So what I want to do is I want to use armatures because I think they're pretty darn cool. So this is going to be one of them, and they're really easy to clean up. Really easy is an incorrect, I shouldn't say that. Once I find wherever the hell my razor blade went to. One second, I gotta find my razor. Poopy. Where did I put that? Okay, well that's annoying. Well, we can play around with this one, I guess. I've never actually used this. Some kind of like finger thing. Just use it like this, I think, for like cutting lines and stuff. We can try it out, I guess. Yeah, there's two big seam lines on each one of these trees that are going to be on each side. Just go down and trim those down, right? And you don't have to trim them down perfect, because like, let's be real, it's a tree. And as long as it doesn't mega stick out, people aren't going to see it. And then you're going to have a couple. Yeah, I don't like the feeling of this. This thing feels bad. But you're going to have a couple of these. Yeah, I don't like this at all. You're going to have a couple of these little mold points on the sides as well, and those mold points, They're really easy to clean up. Most of them are going to get hidden, but if you just clip them quick with the razor, they'll go right away. All right, so like not a amazing like god level job, but pretty good there. All right, and then these guys, they've got one little one here in the trunk, and we'll just hit that. All right, and then we'll clip that off. Now these little stands, they do give you, and we'll look at one in a sec. They do give you more surface area to connect it with, which is pretty darn cool. But the problem is that the connection between it and the roots looks like crap. And I have not found a good way to hide that connection point yet, to be completely, totally honest. So, yeah. So I'll show you what one looks like in a sec. We've done these trees before on the channel. As a matter of fact, there's other pieces of terrain. We built those originally on the channel as well. I did not show all of the like getting the foliage stuck on them on the channel because I didn't know how to do it at the time, right? So I was trying a couple different methods, which is why I tried that adhesive Elmer's glue that, you know, had that weird color effect on them. So, all right, so let me show you how these look like. So they plug in like that, and yeah, so there's this weird like gap now here at the bottom of the tray, and like even if you snug it up as best as possible, it's basically like impossible to get like a flush line, so you have to go back with putty and hit it. So because of that, I'm not a super big fan of those. So I used the base on one or two of these. I just don't like them, so I just don't use them anymore. Same thing with these little guys here, right? Like that one's actually not that bad. That one actually might be doable. Yeah, that one's actually not that bad. We could probably glue and paint and fill that one in. All right, maybe we'll use the base for that one. Let's see, another big base. Where'd the other little base go? There it is. Did this little base worked? I don't know how I feel about that one. We'll think about that one too. The little ones actually aren't that bad. The big ones just look like ass. Can we maybe modify it so it looks better? Maybe if like we take that off and then there's a little bit of a mold line down here. Maybe if we get rid of that. Is what's going on? Does it just always look like crap? Let's see. Because it would be nice to have the bigger glue attachment point. Yeah, see that? That's actually better, to be honest. I could fill that in with glue. Oh shit, I might be a stupid base convert. Look at this bullshit. You know what would be really nice? Is if I didn't glue the trees in to the bases, and then I could pull them out if I wanted the tree off the piece of terrain. Oh god, I could even magnetize them. I could totally magnetize these, and then they would just pull right off, like boop, boop, and click right in. Would it? I could even magnetize these ones. Yeah, I could put a 3mm magnet in there. I don't know if 3mm magnet would be strong enough to hold it with everything now. I don't really know what value it would be to be able to remove them. It would make storage easier, but then I'd have a whole bunch of fucking trees I have to store. So I think I might just glue them in. Yeah. If I pulled them all off, though, I could just store all these like in a shoebox. All right, we'll think about that. We'll think about that. I think I might. I might not make them removable because once I put foliage and stuff on this, I think it might be too heavy for the thickness of the magnet that could go in it, right? Because this one's really tiny. This one's most going to hold a 3mm mag, and then I'd put another 3mm magnet here in the bottom, right? And 3mm magnets are pretty strong, but once this is covered in foliage and all kinds of face in all kinds of weird ways, I don't know if it'll be enough to hold strong. So, all right, well, interesting. Okay, so let's play around and see what size and design of trees we need for our pieces that we've made. So, there's our watermelon. Yeah, see, that's the joke. All right, and here's one of them. And our glue is definitely not dry yet, but that's fine. All right, so we got this one, and glue for the others looks a lot drier. Maybe it's just because I put way too much on these two. Okay. All right, so this guy. What should this guy have? I'm thinking one big tree, boom, like that, and then a little tree like this, or do I want maybe one and then 2 pine trees maybe? Or maybe just 1 pine tree. Let's get another pine tree out. Oh, that's a big pine tree. Look at that one. Yeah, we'll use that one. That one's considerably bigger. Shit. I didn't realize these had this much height variation. I knew they had different molds. I didn't realize that some of them were like big uns. Oh yeah, that's cool. Look at that. Just 2 big fucking trees. Or do I like the little tree? Yeah, I think we'll do that. We'll do 1 big one and 1 little tree on this one. Right? And then this guy, I think I might actually do like a little bush and then 2 pine trees on this one. Now, the point of these is not so much to give like Warhammer style cover, right? Like these are not going to be heavy terrain. But I like some line of sight blocking, because in something like Dead Man's Hand, you know, like some trees between you and the target, like I think that will count for a little bit of cover, right? Like it's not a fucking building, but you know, you could still be shooting at them and hit all the trees and stuff, right? So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. Actually, you know what? We might as well just glue these down as we go. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll glue the... Yeah, because I don't think I'm going to magnetize them. So we'll bend and glue these as we go. That's what we'll do. So these ones here, I think the trick to these is just to kind of, instead of trying to bend the pieces kind of the branches specific ways, I think the trick to this one is kind of to do this, right? And then go back and hit a couple of spots. This is some kind of like pine tree kind of thing, right? And we can give the tree itself a little bit of bend and stuff as well, right? Because most trees aren't 100% straight. Boop. Okay. Go ahead and just glue that down with some super glue. Or we'll glue it to my finger. That works too. That works too. Okay. All right. Now the next step for these, once the PVA is dry, is to hit the whole thing with a coat of Mod Podge. Because once we start painting the chipboard underneath this hardboard here, sorry, chipboard's the wrong word, the hardboard here, this will warp if we paint over it. So it needs to chill. It needs to get coated. I mean, not chill. Yeah, maybe, you know what, maybe not so much in a spiral, but maybe like kind of like back and forth with this is the best way. So, yeah. For anyone's curious, this weekend is Honolulu's kind of biggest kind of nerd convention called Kawaii Con. I was going to go on Friday with some work people, but after spending most of the week with my doggo in the ER, I just didn't really have the energy to go to a convention. So, but I hope that everyone that went had a good time. The times I've been, it was fun. I had a good time the couple times I've gone. I got some good deals on some Battletech stuff and played some games and bought some Gundams. But yeah, there is Honolulu Comic Con as well. Which is a little bit smaller than Kawaii Con, because Honolulu Comic Con ends up having tons of anime stuff in it as well. But Kawaii Con's like the big one. There is also Honolulu Tabletop Convention, but I'm not super sold on that one. I've seen photos of it and it just, I don't know, looks a little rough, you know? Doesn't seem like there's a whole lot going on kind of thing, you know? So, and the ticket's pretty expensive. But, you know, just get in here, mess a couple of these guys up, and glue this sucker down. Whoop. There we go. Alright, the nice thing about this stuff is it's going to be universal. So if I want to use this in bolt action, or if I want to use this in Age of Fantasy Quest, right, or AOS, I can do that. This isn't like explicitly cowboy terrain the way my town is kind of explicitly cowboy terrain, you know? Because you really can't have too many different kinds of games that aren't cowboy games in a cowboy town, you know? So the nice thing is this stuff is a little more universal than that. I'm going to try to make this one, I make these, I think, fan out too much, so I think I'm going to make this one try to stand a little bit more together. Yeah, like that I think will be pretty darn cool. Alright, and there's kind of like a little walkway there. That'll be pretty sweet. There we go. Boop. And then let's go look at our guy that we reflocked. This is the problem with using super glue and cardboard. Cardboard sucks up super glue, like a lot. Like if you put it on something and just like don't hold it down even a little bit, the cardboard will just eat the super glue. So there we go. Move that guy over to the side. Alright, let's go look at our guy that we reflocked. Alright, it's getting more dry. I do think that's pretty good. I do think that's an improvement. To be kind of honest, I kind of want to just redo all these trees. But I don't know if that's just because my brain is bad right now. Like I kind of want to rip off all the foam and start over with new clump foliage. So we're going to ignore that thought for now. Because that seems like my brain is not being healthy right now kind of thought. And instead, we're just going to keep working on these guys. Alright, so how I got this to fit better, I clipped the end off and then cleaned up the mold line on the inside here. And it did seem to make a pretty big difference with how it sat. Because honestly, I do like having the bases. Even if there's going to be a little bit of line, it makes it wildly easier to stand on, like to stand up, you know. There we go. There we go. There we go. Stretch this guy out. Alright. But yeah, in addition to lots of Skaven, I painted up all of my zombies for my Soulblight Gravelords. So I have like a crazy number of zombies now for them, which is pretty darn cool. Alright, there we go. Okay. Alright, so let's see. This guy, maybe we'll put him low like that. Or maybe we'll put him here. Maybe he can go by himself over there. I don't know. Let's play with him, see what we got. Alright, so let's say this guy, let's say we're going to put him there, right? What else do we put on this one? Do we want some more of these trees? Maybe? That seems a little close, in my opinion, that one does. So maybe we'll do something like he goes here, and then this guy goes there, and then a little tree goes next to it, maybe? We'll see what that looks like. But yeah, there's all kinds of these, like woodland scenic armature things. There's all kinds. Maybe we'll put like a rock or something here. That would be kind of cool, to be honest. I think I've got 3D printed rocks somewhere. Yeah, I think we'll do that. I think this will be the rock one. But yeah, Woodland Scenics has all kinds of these armatures. So I've got 3 different kinds here, but they make a whole bunch more. The one I wish they made was like a palm tree one. Not that you could like flock a palm tree, but I wish they like made palm tree leaves for it too. Because all the palm trees I have are kind of like cheap crap trees from China that I like had to work really hard on and repaint to get them to look nice. I'd much rather have something like this that could, you know, look pretty good just out of the box. There we go. Okay. And then cardboard man fucking eats super glue. Alright. Okay. So, what do we want on this one? I think I want to use another little tree. So I haven't used a lot of those. Let's see if we can find maybe 2 different little trees on this one. Yeah, as you can see, they come in different shapes and different sizes, which is pretty cool. So when you buy one bag, you're gonna get a bunch of different shapes and stuff. So if you don't like the look of one for a specific area, you can just go digging and try to find another one. Alright, so what I'm thinking is maybe over, we'll bend this one all up first. Go. Yep, there we go. Nice and all cool and bent up there. Get that to aim a little bit more left. Maybe something like 2 little trees here and then a big pine there. Or maybe like 1 big pine, 2 big pines, 3 big pines. Because all these I'm making kind of like a little walkway through them. I don't know if I really want that on all of them. I think my brain is just kind of intrinsically doing that. I don't know if I want that, so. Maybe we'll look into that in a second, I think. Maybe do something like 2 big pines on this one, and then 2 little trees or something maybe. We'll see. It's funny, these kind of weird kind of pine tree things, these things are even out here in Hawaii. Like, they're kind of like everywhere. Now, when I first got to the island, I actually thought these were like cell phone kind of towers, like hidden as trees, because you see that every now and then. I was like, oh, that's neat. Hawaii's got a lot of those. No, they're real fucking trees. All right. There we go. Maybe like that, and then maybe 1 there, and then maybe 1 here, like that. Maybe we do keep that, or maybe we could do that and have 4 maybe. I don't know. Let's see. And I gotta find my real razor. This one sucks. probably very good for cutting paper. I think that's what it's really intended for. But to use as like an actual razor knife, it's got me worried. Yeah, you can see with these ones I'm just twisting them. Okay, so maybe we do this like that. And then do a third tree in there maybe. Maybe we leave that one as is, and this goes over here. No, because that seems too much like two trees on one side and one tree on the other. So maybe we put it in the middle there like that. And that one's a little bit more like dense kind of tree cover. Maybe something like that. That's pretty cool, I think. Because then there's no like clear path through that one. The minis are going to kind of have to walk around it. Right? They're not going to be able to go through it. Yeah, I think that's pretty cool. We'll do that. You can see the super glue bonds these like instantly to the foam. I say this one's probably going to fall over. Nice. Okay. Well, what's our next step? The jury is out on this. The jury is out on this. The jury's out on if I want to just refab all these pieces. Which honestly I might want to do. I might just want to start over on these, because even the ground has this weird kind of like shimmer to it that I don't like. And that's from that stupid spray glue as well. So maybe it's a situation where I maybe basically start over with these ones because I don't like them. But we'll see. I'm not sure yet. And I don't think I'm in a headspace to make that decision right now. But we've got some cool new ones, right? So we got this one here with the pine trees on the side. And we've got this one with one of the big trees and then a pine tree. Right? And then this guy here. I'm going to put some kind of like rocks and stuff here and make like a rock pile, I think, for this one. We can actually do that before I call it. And then this one, which is kind of the more dense kind of blocking one. I think that's will be pretty fun. And these should be pretty cool for basically anything that needs a forest, you know. And if I refab the other one, that'll give me 7 total pieces of forest, and that's pretty darn cool. So yeah, that's pretty sweet in my opinion. So okay, let's do some little rocks. My parents got me this forever ago, and I've used bits and bobs out of it. but I noticed they have these little clumps in here. I figure we can make a little rock pile out of these. Maybe we'll dot some more around too. All right. I think these are coconut shell pieces. That's what I think these are. Or they're cork, one of the two. But yeah, I think we can put some of these around. They'll be pretty darn cool, I think. There we go. We got this big one here. And put him like that. And get that out of the way. It's kind of big chunks here. Some little chunks. We'll just let that glue settle there. And we'll just make like a big kind of rock pile. Like that. That's pretty darn cool. Now all you guys see is the glue lid. I'm sorry. Okay, you know what? We might as well put some more of these around because they're pretty cool. And if it's supposed to be a forest, there should be rocks around, so. Yeah, these are definitely just chunks of cork, but they're not like the cork board I normally buy. They're like bigger, thicker bits, so it's pretty neat. Just put some kind of round and stuff, you know. We're going to hit everything with texture paste, so if I decide I don't want them to be a rock, they'll just be a lump in the texture paste and it'll look cool. Just doing little dots and then, oh, you guys can't see this one, okay. Still not used to the new camera yet, man. Still not used to it, I tell you what. There we go. I'll actually make another, we'll put another one next to this one. So since these are cork, if you don't like the shape, you could break these up, but honestly I think they're pretty good as is because they're really weird shapes. I like that. I'm gonna put one or two on this guy too. Yeah, like down here maybe. Yeah, man, I kind of wish I would have used these earlier. They're cool. I like these little chunks of stuff. That's gonna drive me bonkers if I don't rip it off. Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. And I'm totally off camera again. God damn it. I apologize. I am not used to the new setup yet, but we will get there. I'm used to the camera being like this whole kind of area here, right? And usually what I do is I outline that area for myself with something like this piece of EVA foam here, right? Because I know that whole thing isn't shot, but really the shot is about there, right? So as I slowly scoot this way for whatever reason, I've been doing that lately, I fall out of shot, which is not good. Okay, cool. All right, so these will, well, they have to dry first off. So all the PVA has to dry on these. And then I will come back and I'm going to have to Mod Podge the entire thing to prevent warping. And that includes both sides, the top and the bottom. And then after that, they will get primed, and then we can start doing some fun stuff. So they'll get Vallejo texture paint, Vallejo texture paint, and then they'll get a dry brush, and then they will get flocking for dirt, for like grass in the dirt, and then we will figure out the situation with how to reflock the trees. So, but yeah, they got to dry now. They're going into the drying step, and I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. This is a whole lot of cool trees. They're pretty darn dope. I'm pretty excited about this. Not sure what I'm gonna do about the other ones that I made. To be honest, they might get trashed. We'll have to see. I'm going to work on these first. My brain is not being very nice today, so I'm not in a position to make a decision on what I should do with my trees. So we're not going to, because that's a bad call, right? I can shove all these into one bag though, which would be pretty sweet. Save me some room. Yeah, you can see how many of these you get. I think that bag of those was like $15. And man, you get just like a trillion of them. And these ones, they'd be great scale for Battletech too. Right? Like the other ones are going to be really big for Battletech mechs, like if you think about it. Right? Like this is a Battletech forest, right? These are big fucking trees, right? Because this is a 30-foot tall mech. Right? That's a big tree, but this is an amazing sized tree. You know, I mean, hell, they'd probably even still be good for Battletech. You'd be in a big forest. God, I could use these for Battletech too. That's really cool. Oh man, I could totally do up like a little forest outpost with like little guard towers, and that'd be cool. That'd be really cool. Anyway, sorry, just thinking. Battletech's cool. But I'm gonna go ahead and call it there. Thank you guys for watching as I glued all these trees together. And I'll be back next weekend probably. And we'll see what we can get up to then. But have a good one, and keep on keeping on.